afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from me, host Imperial Dane, master propaganda hero like defender of the fatherland, off here to an exciting 1 versus 1 on Crossroads. Within the north, we got here JaeforJett, a high-ranking American player, certainly one of the best in the game here with rifle. Actually, infantry, heavy cavalry, and recon support. No rifle company, my mistake. Triple infantry versus the south. Norsk, a top 100 VMAT player, I think roughly around rank 80 at the moment. Fighting for Germany, Deutschland here with elite troops, spearhead and mobile defense, triple infantry rolling out here with the 2nd Panzer Division versus JaeforJett's 3rd Armored Division. We got a double rifle side here for JaeforJett. He sets up for America, freedom, democracy. Norsk here by way straight into elite troops with grenadiers, MG42s. Standard choice in terms of doctrine versus the Americans, since the concussor grenades help you sort of deal with one of the bigger weaknesses, which the American rifleman can just run straight at your grenadiers and beat them up. So having the concussor grenades there, the stun grenades, can usually have quite an impact and sort of making it a bit harder for them just to pull off that particular tactic. Spreading out the hit early on in the game can be risky for the Wehrmacht, particularly can just get hit by a rifle squad, you can just be quickly forced off the field. So we have to see how Norsk handles that. Jay himself, though, of course, is spreading out. I mean, the biggest issue for him is he just, happens to run into the MG42 and gets immediately forced off the field. But even then, it's not like he's going to suffer massive casualties in the process. Second grenade squad there on the way for Norsk. Ceasing point to across the frontage. Rather basically staying close over to the front while the rear is just basically secure everything behind the lines. Pioneers here, MG42 is also being used to grab territory. Of course, that way speeds things up, though we might not quite be able to find ourselves fast enough there for the fighting. Gonna these moving westwards. They just split off entirely from the rest of the force. Slightly in some ways risky, I think, capping over here by Norsk. But there we go, first shots fired. Pioneers are caught with the rifle squad right as we're about to hit the 2-minute mark, in fact. So 2 minutes almost without any action. Grenadiers squad moving up here, rifle moving up here. Grenadiers could try and flank or deal with them, just ignore them, moving for the fuel point. They're forcing the Brigade to react, maybe. Pioneers with rifle in the MD4 sitting up, it's too slow there. Grenadiers also arriving here. MP45, they are having some impact on the rifle, they're very light. And of course, now with MD4 about, we can see here JaeforJett is forced to run after the MD42 or risk of being suppressed immediately. Allowing the Pioneers to grab the fuel point uninterrupted, but also just shoot at the rifle without taking much damage. MD42 circling about here. Grenadiers have been beat up by the rifle quite aggressively, since the riflemen do have 50% more DPS up close than the Grenadier squad. Rasputin down in the south, Grenadiers versus rifle squad up here. 3rd Grenadier squad on the way. Good move so far by JaeforJett here, though of course the right hand side didn't quite work out the way it hoped for. Grenadiers will likely have to retreat soon. They're simply too low and healthy to be in a good state. Hitting the cuff point there. MD42 million from one side, Grenadiers will arrive from the other side, and Grenadiers going to fight. Slowly being overwhelmed here by JaeforJett's force, but now just back here to the concussor grenade so he can sort of fend off better. And there you go, suppressed here. Good work, hitting the center victory point. Grenadiers overwhelmed, retreating here fast, taking no chance versus JaeforJett. And there you go, rifle taking too much damage from both the Grenadiers and the MD42, overall causing 2 losses and some damage. JaeforJett here with a very fast lieutenant, very standard choice there for a lot of American players, allows you to keep up pressure, momentum. Plus, the lieutenant is basically just a better rifle squad in most situations, since there's actually both a Thompson and a BAR to start with. So, he's just amazing, and thus again, can just allow to keep pressuring the Germans if you sort of hit up for that really fast, which is basically what JaeforJett is doing. Ensuring that even if he's taking up, he's not going to be falling that far behind on the field, because the lieutenant is just freebie initially with the tech. Grenadiers bring up the rifleman, MD42 supporting, get a skirmishing in the west, Grenadiers push back the rear streams there. And there you go, almost got a wrap on the rifle squad, almost but not quite. So some damage being done here, no take up yet for Norsk, but it's going for 4 Grenadier MD42 build, 1 MD42 build, so it could very well be he's planning a tier 3 rush, which elite troops can help it. There were stormtroops covering up for the lack of tier 2 if you want to. Following up with the 50 caliber, very strong choice, can further put pressure on Norsk's infantry and the machine gun. And in theory, if Norsk goes for light vehicles, the 50 caliber can be quite instrumental in sort of damaging there, making it harder for Norsk to use his 222 or 251. He's pushing hard on the west side there, though he is sending his machine gun a bit unsupported into the east here, with only 1 Grenadier squad. Interesting enough, he got no stun grenades. He might of course be hoping to bait JaeforJett into a false sense of security. It's a bit hard to say, but he's going to need it soon, because if it's the lieutenant, the Grenadiers will lose up close versus the lieutenant. There you go, grenade off. Kaboom. Does some damage there, troops done, more Grenadiers moving in there. Grenadiers over getting up some good kills. That's going to be a retreat there for Jay. He might try and get a whack on the Grenadiers there, but he's quickly taking too many losses to really be able to pull that off. More retreats, more losses. No take-ups over there from Norsk. Could be playing Stormtroopers soon. Always can get the centre victory point. Also a big thanks to Leia for pledging on Patreon and supporting the Propagandacast. Well, remember it. Can deal with the Rifleman. Securing up the centre point here, heading up west side with Grenadiers. Rifleman taking minor losses. MD42 Pioneers moving westwards. Point secured there, point secured here. Reinforcement here, noting no ambulance yet for TA. Of course, he's under a lot of pressure and probably doesn't feel like he can get away, needs it or can afford it right now. We'll have to see there what he ends up with. But probably won't be too far off before he gets it. Norsk, of course, at the same time has gone for medic bunker. He's finally taking up here. He's finally taking up. No stormtroopers though, which will help, you know, with the fact he's delayed his take a bit there. MD42 guarding the carve point. Harassment here as well. Both players sort of trying to aggressively outmaneuver the other one. And we got JaeforJett up there for Norsk. I mean, at this stage, JaeforJett should be sharply aware, of course, what the doctrine his opponent has gone for, and at least to an extent of what to expect. Shooting here, flame thrusting with the rifle and M50 caliber here. Very good move by using attack round to attack through the hedgerows. Able to easily deal with a machine gun inside the house without getting exposed to machine gun fire. Good approach there. 50 caliber trying to set up here, but the Pioneers good. There we go. Extra damage in from inside the house. Then heavy covers, the easy targets. And there you go. A neat retreat here for JaeforJett. He is not risking it. He is not risking it in the slightest. Charge here against Ryan from the west. Continue to go through with Lieutenant moving up. And another concussive grenade, this time thrown a bit too fast. It doesn't quite work off. Slight misjudgment there by Norsk. Slight misjudgment. No. Like to make a nice company, though of course he's playing for tier 3. That's not necessary. They're going to have to put more pressure on the field for this to really work. I mean, he's likely to soon be hit by a half track there from JaeforJett, at which point he doesn't have a pantry strike, he doesn't have anything else. So I mean, it's going to be very vulnerable if JaeforJett pushes for the half track. Though so far Jay is not. He's not even upgrading his rifle with some BARs. Troops moving out there for Norsk. Eastern side being lost there for JaeforJett's brave American boys, and there you go, ambulance running for them. Certainly a lot of troops in need of healing. Nothing further going on there. Norsk continues to have the machine gun they're guarding. He's very worried about being harassed there. We got a boat on the way. Bunker up as well, but no like to make a nice company. But certainly again for him increased the suspicion. He's planning a T3 rush here versus JaeforJett. Killing reinforcement there, grabbing the western point here with the Grenadier, and in the south rifle securing the point here. No medics right there, though he can go for them. Well, now actually, so not much of a delay there, more sitting up. A bit far behind here, they can of course cover the area around close to his base, but it's not going to help much push forwards there. Otherwise, mortified against the rifle inside the house. East side is slowly being probed there by Norse forces again, as it otherwise is falling under JaeforJett's harassment. JaeforJett, they're wielding his, I think, 50 caliber much more aggressively and confidently here than Norsk so far with his MD42, which is very much far removed. And there you go, trying to flank with this case caught, but the MD42 suppressed. Paying off there for Norsk. And the second Panzer Division is a push back the rifleman. 50 caliber about to get flanked. Very good work there by Norsk. Very good work. Looks like JaeforJett isn't aware, and there you go, concussive grenade off on the 50 caliber crew, landing and leaving the crew quite dazed in the south there though. Deep flank and MD42, good work there by JaeforJett. Punishing there Norsk, basically just being very static with his MD42. We got still no take up there though. No stormtroopers either. Not much in fact happening there for Norsk at the moment. Except he's got the western field point against here JaeforJett. Got his marine from the north, so engaged there. Got his with the rifleman there. Mortify continues to rain down incessantly. JaeforJett's rifle now taking some damage. Here's some losses against Norsk brave Grenadiers. And Canusa scouting, skirmishing out with the reassurance, and we got here weapon max on for Jay. I mean, he's got 400 munitions. I'm a bit surprised it took him this long, but then again, with all the stuff he had to manage, I suppose it's not, you know, a huge fault, but still, he could certainly benefited sooner from some BARs here. But still, a bit late, you know, better late than never. In this case, it's not like it's vastly late, but one certainly feels like he could have done it sooner. But still, he's going to be able to push out a lot of BARs with that. I mean, 400 munitions, about 60 a pop. That's at least 6 BARs or so, I think. possibly close to 7. And that is a lot of firepower. That's going to certainly be a bit of a chance there for Norsk to deal with. But yeah, he is planning the tier 3 rush. Again, it's going to be a bit delayed. Though he has, I think, done to an extent. Good job there. Do feel like he's floating too much manpower. Storms was a fuel cache there, could help out. But we'll see what it ends up with. He's certainly going to need more firepower here versus JaeforJett now, since all those BARs will have quite the impact. It's that he's going to need at least an NG42 to help deal with all the riflemen. Let's push up here, support with info 250 cub setting up. They're very good work, and immediately suppressing both Grenadier squads. In the southern point, they're retreating from the east otherwise, and JaeforJett is planning a really big push into the east here. Really big push. We've got 2 rifle squads and a lieutenant, all with BARs. And has the lieutenant been upgraded? Yes, he's been double barred. He has been double barred. That's definitely really nasty, and I think some American players actually think to underestimate is actually really good. They just tend to upgrade the lieutenant. Perhaps they're not even where they can, but like JaeforJett knows where it's at, and that is getting the lieutenant a second BAR, at which point they have like 2 gun rounds, 2 BARs, and the Thompson. That's a lot of firepower on any one unit. In particular, the veterans, the lieutenant becomes really a monster then. Oh! Talk about luck! Direct hit on the rifle squad, wiping the entire unit. Whew. I mean, that's pretty good luck there for Norsk. Terrible luck there for JaeforJett. Terrible luck. Got a unit down the retreat though. Pioneers bit the dust. That's going to make it harder there for Norsk to take up. They're getting his floating manpower, and kind of shouldn't. By the way though, that is going to have an impact then. JaeforJett is going to have to replace that rifle squad. That's going to slow things down, and until then he's going to have less of a presence on the field. So overall this is just solid from Norsk, except you know he's still contained, but it does help him push out there against JaeforJett. More G45s up there. No light machine guns whatsoever. I mean, as the game progresses and you know JaeforJett adds more BARs in though, Norsk at least consider at least a single light machine gun team because they do perform better at range. Oh dear, bit of assault here. Line to the rifle lieutenant. All those BARs. No grenades. He just walks straight up. That definitely feels like a mistake. We do get a grenade off, and everybody gets stunned. And I think he killed his own Grenadier squad in the process. Oops. Yeah, I can already imagine you talking to that guy who got killed by, you know, family. Yeah, we're terribly sorry, you know, it was an accident. Oops, you know, oops. So Norsk rather accidentally managed to, you know, level the playing field there for him. Meanwhile, JaeforJett is taking it. It's going to be able to push out tanks first. Not much of a surprise there. In this regard, Norsk's tier 3 rushes rather encounter some issues. Again, slightly inefficient, I would say, manpower expenditure here versus JaeforJett. And that slightly awkward assault there. I mean, again, it could have gone to fuel cache. You could have pushed more troops and more support weapons. Oh wait, not super efficient there by Norsk. Not super efficient. You do not want to be like, you know, floating that much manpower trying to rush ahead. Major calling in cylinder house, collapsing it, removing a machine gun position there for Norsk, and also forcing the mortar to withdraw to safer lines. Now, of course, the bigger issue is the Sherman and the fact that Norsk has absolutely no anti-tank to stop it. Like, he hasn't even laid down telemines. So this is going to be quite a challenge here for Norsk. Quite a challenge. And JaeforJett's going to certainly take advantage of this as much as possible. I mean, he's seen through what Norsk is doing there. I mean, he knows his opponent's rushing tier 3, and he's been able to rush out a tank ahead of him, in part because American tech is cheaper and faster in many ways. But even then, Norsk again did not quite fully, you know, do his strategy as efficiently as possible. So his tank's going to be a bit behind. And meanwhile, JaeforJett is just going to lay down as much harm as possible. He's going to aim for as many wipes as possible against Norsk, which is obviously the sensible approach here. Not entirely sure what the mortar crew's doing there, but I'm guessing that was a misclick of some sort. And there you go, double Panzerfaust for the Shermans, engine damage. Had those been actual Panzerfaust, and actual all the Sherman would have been cooked, since those were quite lethal. Also, in fact, American tank crews would have nightmares about them, the ones that survived the encounters. Like, I think there's some story from someone like, you know, an American tank drove so he didn't wake up at night, you know, because while he wasn't his tank that was hit, there was another tank that was hit, everybody in it died. He was just like, good lord, that could have been us. Like the Panzerfaust, you know, despite for how apparently inefficient it appears in companies, what the company series was actually a really powerful weapon if you can get close enough, that is, of course. Just a little fun fact there. Another Sherman weather for Jet. I mean, again, the tier 3 rush for Norsk has so far not quite succeeded. Now we've got Sherman versus Panther 4 here. Flanking hit, though he's actually using high explosive rounds. He actually got a penetrating hit with a high explosive round. That's really lucky there for Jay. Also note they've got the mine down there to help slow down the tank. Oh, he cuts it off. That's not so good luck there for Jay. He might actually lose to Sherman here. Oh, missed. He has switched out to arm pitching ramps now, but he misses himself. And there goes Sherman down. A small tactical victory there for Norsk in a sea of slightly awkward moves. And JaeforJett here goes for heavy cavalry. Could pop up some ranges. Tries to hit with some heavy infantry versus Norsk, who just replaces grenadiers, not for say storms or something, or for just more grenadiers. I do think you should go for some stormtroopers personally. They're really good. But that's just me. And this was the echelons. We got troops here healing reinforcing for JaeforJett. Note he hasn't actually tried upgrading his re-echelons with say some bazookas or BARs. That would be a half-back choice there. Now the 50 caliber there for JaeforJett. Again, very solid choice. The 50 caliber is a very powerful machine gun in the game. And for a 50 kilo machine gun is also surprisingly fast and nimble. Which I do find kind of funny. Missed there on the rifleman by the Panzer IV. North trying to see so much back. He's been, good progress and not just, trying to get stuck on one point in the Norsk. And I think that is, one thing to his credit. Like, Norsk is displaying, there we go, some good tactical flexibility. Of course, so is JaeforJett. I mean, neither of these players, I think, are too concerned just, trying to win one point. They're not, trying to, put any pride into pulling off a Stalingrad. They're not, fighting where they don't feel like they need to necessarily. So that's good here. Keeps things fast, fluid, and furious. But there you go. JaeforJett does end up recruiting the relations with bazookas, creating a bazooka team there. Concussed grenade off stops the lieutenant. Panzer IV needs to fall back. And here Grenadiers finding out there's a rifleman in the east. Panzer IV fall back further, and there you go. Quick concussive grenade. Ooh, another mine down there from JaeforJett. At some point, Grenadiers about to get wiped out. Partly because one upgrade, but negative cover, low veterancy, rifleman WBRs. Stormtroopers would have been able to perform better. They do have quite a few received accuracy bonuses, which, really helps out in making them less murderable. Plus, of course, with assault rifles, they could also add some extra firing there against JaeforJett, who has yet to replace his lost rifle squad, which he did lose earlier. Instead, he's actually going for a lot of 50 caliber machine guns. An interesting choice. I mean, it does cost the same as a rifle squad in some ways in late game. It certainly does put more pressure on the German infantry and support weapons. But it's more vulnerable to flanking, of course, and risk handing over them to his opponent. But it's an interesting tactical and strategic choice there for JaeforJett in the late game. Just going for a lot of 50 caliber machine guns. It's not what you actually see very often at all, but again, they do pack a lot of punch. So I can understand why he's doing it. Panzer IV being fixed, points being secured there. Norsk continues to float, I think, a not inconsequential amount of manpower. I really think you should be doing more with it. Healing enforcement here. Panzer IV almost fixed up. That's still some time to go. Guns are being suppressed, stopped here. Missing with the cannon here with their G43s and their 3 stars. Another grenade here. This time they easily dodge, and the 50 caliber providing accurate fire support here for the advancing rifleman. Good attack there by JaeforJett. Almost got the fuel point there. We'll have to see there if Norsk is planning another Panzer IV Stooks or what he might be up for here. As for JaeforJett, it's pretty clear he's aiming for the Pershing. Now he could of course gone for more Shermans. He was also clearly considering that, but I think after losing the first German, he just basically switched gears entirely, which would also explain all the 50 calibers, just trying to keep Norsk down as much as possible as he then stalls for a Pershing tank, which is a pretty solid heavy tank in the game. Troops are being suppressed. Lieutenant almost being up to the Panzer IV. Interesting to note he has an upgrade with a Pindelmark machine gun, which the Panzer IV really benefits from, to be honest. Which only increases the chance of wiping the lieutenant in retreat. Can't quite hit there, unfortunately. I'm sure JaeforJett is quite happy about that. And there you go, M26 pushing out here for JaeforJett. Oh, he's running in the Panzer IV. Oh, no. Pershing shoots, misses. Anti-tank rifle goes off. He's going to lose the Panzer IV here. Yup, damaged engine right in front of the Pershing. He's got no other anti-tank weapons. Terrible choice of decision making there by Norsk against JaeforJett. Another oops. I'm pretty sure the Führer does not accept oops as an explanation for losing panzers. What do you mean oops? You idiot. Pioneers wiped. That's another oops for Norsk. Still floating that much manpower does not have me happy. Still on the way, they're almost done. Need to retreat. The Pershing is really accurate versus infantry, by the way. Particularly stand still there. There we go. Almost wiping both Grenadier escorts there. Might at least be able to get one Grenadier escort, in fact. Ooh. Lucky there for Norsk, but still floating way too much manpower. I'm not entirely sure what Norsk is thinking with that, to be honest. Like, that is not good. Grenadier is wiped. Down to just 2 infantry squads. Like, he was trying to set up for the Tigris, and I'd definitely not recommend that. Like, his force composition is nowhere near strong enough to support a Tigris now. With only 2 infantry squads on the right there, he's going to have struggled to maintain map control as long as JaeforJett doesn't do something stupid like panicking in front of the Tigris. So I think Norsk is possibly making a really big strategic mistake if he's again playing for the Tigris. Great hit from the Pershing and the Stuke, but Stuke finally as well. Stuke needs to fall back now, and there you go, smoke being popped. Rather than repulse, 5th Cavalry also falling back, and there you go, Grenadiers flanking behind. In theory, he could get a whap on the 5th Cavalry and steal it. That'd be pretty good for Norsk. And there we go, he does succeed in it. He does succeed in it. A small tactical victory for Norsk in a sea of mistakes that I'd say he made himself. But still having another machine in particular 50 caliber is going to be quite useful for him, since, I mean, it works pretty great versus the Americans as well. So that's going to work out there for Norsk. That should help a bit there, but he's clearly playing for the Tigers, and I just feel like he's just been putting his resources on hold for too long to really, you know, get that to be a really amazing decision. And I still think he's got way too little. There you go. Another tank to the base. Another Grenadier squad wipe. He's down just 1 infantry squad now, plus a couple machine guns there. But yeah, Norsk is seemingly incredibly committed to the idea of the Tiger Ace. He is incredibly committed. And there you go. Tiger is out there for Norsk. Mortar vets need 2. Stuke slowly being fixed up. At least he got to add a pin, what I'm seeing to that one. Medic bunk is going to need some repairs. I mean, right now, it's less medic bunk and just more of a burning hole in the ground. Jackson away there for JaeforJett to help further put the block down there in the Tigris. Very good decision there, I think, by JaeforJett. Plus, of course, a Stuke. Pershing shoot penetrates, but there you go. Direct hit from mortar on the 5th Cavalry, wiping another one of JaeforJett's mortars on the units there. Major's about to feel the wrath of the Tigris of Deutschland, which quickly rolls ahead, shoots and misses. Another miss there, got the 5th Cavalry crew moving up. No, that's an MD-42 crew. But he could certainly get away with crewing the other one with, say, a Pioneer squad, then replenishing that one. At least them to have built up his forces somewhat without necessarily, you know, having to pay the rather exorbitant price for an entire squad when he's only getting 129 manpower per minute. But there you go, JaeforJett Pershing being fixed up, close to Veteran 2 already. And there you go, M36 Jackson tanks are out there for JaeforJett. For America. Democracy. Tiger is still roaming about. Pershing, there's a Tiger Ace here. First shot from the Pershing. Tiger Ace turns, shoots, bounces off the Pershing's frontal armour. And using Blitzkrieg there to just maneuvering better. Good hit there, but recent nearby. Stuke moving up, Jackson moving in. Need to be careful of the Stuke team moving up. Stuke taking hits. Need to fall back with the Stuke. Smoke popped. Stuke needs to pop smoke, but he doesn't have the munitions for it. Getting flanked here. Oh, the damage engine, the Pershing. Oh, the Tiger Ace, not the Pershing. The Pershing's largely fine in that regard. Tiger Ace, it could be dead. Oh, Scheiße, Norsk. GG from Norsk already. But not leaving, it seems. Kennedy is wiped. He's still got 250 calibers there now. Pershing will hit there. Misses the Tiger Ace. Tiger Ace bounces off the Pershing. Penetrating hit. Bounces off the Tiger Ace. Tiger Ace gets another hit. This is why they need deflection, by the way. This is why they should have deflection in the game, by the way, all along, instead of just, you know, on and off, like too high variance. But still, he actually gets the Pershing with the Tiger Ace. He actually gets it. Ah, he missed with the HVAP. You can't blame RNG on that one, since that's basically his own fault. You aimed that one, by the way. But the ace is actually up. There you go. Wipes another 50 caliber. Oh, God. Norsk might actually have a tiny chance of getting back into this. And he actually got the Jackson as well. Huh. Interesting. Oh well, troops pulling back there. Tiger is going to need some repairs. Stu also need repairs. Lieutenant Rifle and Racing's moving in here. 50 cal opening up and getting the lieutenant head on. Popping armor piercing rounds, which, I mean, although it does increase the damage to the field, does seem to help us the infantry, though you normally don't see armor piercing rounds popped just to deal with infantry, but you can do it, Tiger shoots, lands another standing hit here. I mean, the funny thing is that JaeforJett didn't need to kill the ace. Like, if he just left it as was, it would really just slow down Norsk's economy quite heavily. Quite some time, still does. But because you throw away the Pershing like that, I mean, you might be able to get back into this, though it's still looking rather unlikely. Norsk, for some reason, continues to float manpower. Really should be doing that. But there you go, spending the manpower on these finally. Willingly standing in front of the Tiger Ace, though. Not the best move there for Jake, to be honest. Not the best move. He's really intent on killing the ace. Like, again, he's willing to throw away resources, add it, rather than again realize it's costing Norsk a lot more. But the more he just feeds into it like this, the more he does just helps Norsk with this. He actually makes the Tigers become much better economically. So I think JaeforJett here might have slightly lost sight of the goals, and that is definitely helping out Norsk at times. Just focusing on controlling the rest of the map, digging in. He would have made it much harder then for Norsk to get back into this, but instead he's just piecemeal feeding the Tiger Ace targets, which is really amazing for the Tiger Ace, to be honest. Fixing up the ace.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
So there you go, bit of discussion between the two. JaeforJett moving ahead, grabbing some stuff up. Not laying down any mines, though. He would definitely benefit from that. He's also got a ton of munitions. He could have maybe coordinated some of that into a combined arms attack, which would have boosted some other stuff there. Now you can see Norsk is sort of pushing back here against Jay. Grenades going off, missing the mark quite a bit. I mean, if anything, JaeforJett still has a chance at this. I mean, he's got a lot of munitions, but he just threw away so much stuff. They're trying to take away the Tiger Ace, just, you know, trying to take away everything else of Norsk's. Because Norsk is going to struggle to replace any losses. I mean, the way now Norsk is sort of pushing out, if he had the Sherman still, he could punish Norsk a lot harder than he could now, because he insisted on trying to take out the Tiger Ace with this one Sherman tank. And he's not exactly, you know, using his munitions to at least lay down a lot of mines, which would, you know, help slow down the Tiger Ace or any other infantry and machine guns. Another Jackson there for JaeforJett. Victory points whilst though he's sort of got control. Oh, he's shifted right to the 5th gun moving up there. Gonna use this as a lieutenant in the west. And now the Tiger is almost ready here for Norsk, and JaeforJett isn't quite ready to receive this monstrous slab of Kruppstahl. Going to work down the Stube though, which is close to 2 and 70 RPM, having unleashed on the car machine gun. Down to 177 there, 87 for Norsk. Lieutenant retreating very swiftly there for Jay. He's almost got 600 munitions. I definitely feel he should be laying down a lot of mines. He's calling in the Ranger squad on top now. Should probably equip that with Thompsons. But, oh no, he lost his anti-tank team. He really needs to be careful around that ace. I think he's underestimating it to an extent. And seeming forgetting how powerful the ace is. It also looks like he might be a bit tilted, which is probably not helping his decision making either. He's standing about in front of the Tiger Ace. There we go, retreats rifle in the east. There we got MD42 with 50 caliber. He's not upgraded the ranges. He's not expending his munitions very well, and he's just attacking head on into the ace. Somehow hoping that someone turns out to be Tom Hanks and can somehow deal with the Tiger Ace, I guess. Or maybe Clint Eastwood. Return flanking against MD42. Successfully forcing it away. Good work there. No smoke actually being utilised here by JaeforJett either to maybe neutralise some of the lines of fire there. Stu managed to blind the Jackson there a bit, and there he goes. Panzerfaust off. Stu going in for the kill there. Shoots, hits. Oh. More damage there. Stu almost down. He's going to go for it though. What is Norsk thinking? And this dude is wasted. Now you know what, there with the Tiger Ace on retreat because again for some reason he insisted taking head on into it. Oh, looks like it missed actually. Should pop HVAC rounds, so it's not going to do too much now. The Tiger Ace is running in for the kill. Again, this is where Mines probably would have done a lot of good. They could have slowed down the Tiger Ace, you know, made it harder for him to just move it freely about. But again, JaeforJett is up with this huge munitions hump. Damage into the Tiger Ace, down to half health, but JaeforJett's force has just been absolutely wasted away against the Tiger Ace head on. Instead of trying to deal with the rest of Norsk's forces, and Norsk has just been, you know, taking advantage of that as much as possible.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Turn them moving about, being suppressed if the 50 caliber is attempted suppressed.
The territory is out of contact. Capture point is being overrun.
Straight to the Tiger Ace here. Again, he does not seem to respect it very well. He just hates it to the point of not quite considering what it is. Almost got a turn there, but not quite.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Smoke down here. Finally he popped smoke. Finally.
300 points.
I would say that took JaeforJett rather too long. Another Jackson away there for Jay. Another Jackson tank destroyer.
We are losing a sector.
About to wipe the Rangers, and oh, they get away. They get away. Mortar fire there, going on the western point. Great hit there. Now they're struggling away from Norsk. And JaeforJett surrenders. A victory for Norsk. A rather bloody battle here with a lot of losses on both sides. Was rather close there for JaeforJett to win, but I think he rather ended up apparently just some bad luck in the Tiger Ace. I mean, that shot penetrated, yeah, boom, GG, any of those shots. And again, I think highlights, they just need to add some bloody deflection there on the tanks, you know. Instead of giving to like anti-tank rods, we shouldn't have that, you know, should add to the tanks, at least that way. This wouldn't have happened, the Tiger Ace would like to have been dead. But even then, like, the question is, did he then have to commit everything else to try and destroy the Tiger Ace? I don't think he did. Like, basically got tilted and just tried to destroy it, he hated it, and ended up just losing too much, then which allowed Norsk then sort of slowly get back into the game. He also failed to use some munitions. He would have still, I think, recovered after losing the Pershing, but he just, I think, lost it. and basically allowed Norsk to just somehow roll back into the fight. Norsk though really needs to get better using his manpower. He floated way too much at times, and certainly his tier 3 rush was also, I think, a bit slapdash. Could have been executed a bit better. Overall, I mean, well played by both, but there's certainly some issues there, some foibles on both players' parts. In this case, to an extent, it boiled down to luck, but also I think that JaeforJett's decision making after losing the Persian there, I think rather, hit a sour spot, and he just ended up making a lot of mistakes. Again, he could have mined up, he could have made things a lot more difficult with Norsk, but it never quite happened. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, tell friends, share it with everyone. If not, send in a replay and feedback in the comment section. And this is Imperial Denting. Cheers, thank you for watching. Hope to see you all tomorrow for a nice episode. Bye.